So I went back to Japan in July, and surprise, surprise, I bought a lot of books, probably way more than I should have, considering the fact that I'm moving to London in like 3 days. I had been meaning to film a haul. I don't know, it just felt very weird for me to upload a haul when most of the people that watch my channel aren't going to be able to read these books. I thought, why not just talk about something that everyone can appreciate, and I figured that would be book design. If there's one thing that Japanese people are known to be good at, it is attention to detail and making detailed things that are beautiful. And of course that applies to books, at least in my opinion. First up, I have Butter by Yuzuki Asako. This is a story about a journalist who interviews a woman who is accused of marriage fraud and killing 3 men. The dust jacket for this book has a illustration of a woman, presumably the woman who is accused of committing these crimes. Her hair is meant to represent the butter in the title, and it contrasts beautifully with her black top. Now, I haven't read this book, so I'm not 100% sure, but my interpretation of the title is that the melting nature of butter is meant to represent the greed and negative emotion that pretty much leads to this woman committing the crimes that she's accused of. In Japanese, we have a word for this called dorodoro, which is basically something that is muddy or mushy, but it's also meant to describe a really ugly situation or relationship, something that you would kind of see in like a soap opera. Next, I have Akarui Yoru ni Dekakete by Takako Sato. This is about a young man who takes a break from college. He starts working at a convenience store and listens to a late night radio program, and it's based around this radio program that he listens to. Apparently it is based on a radio program that actually existed, and the picture on the dust jacket was taken at the studio where the radio program was broadcasted. And the rest is meant to sort of represent the starry night sky. Next we have I by Nishi Kanako. This is a story about a Syrian girl who is adopted by an American man and a Japanese woman. The I in the title represents several things. First, it is the name of the main character. Second, it means love in Japanese. And third, I believe it is meant to represent the identity of humans. From what I've read, the main character seems to go through an identity crisis, and the dust jacket is just really vibrant, colorful, and eye-catching. It's really beautiful. Lastly, I have Tokyo Wazawaza Kitai Machi no Honyasan by Masayuki Waki. This is a nonfiction book about different interesting bookshops in Tokyo, and the dust jacket is just this really cute illustration of bookshelves, and they have these different books with the names of bookshops that appear in the book. Firstly, I want to talk about something that I think is quite essential to Japanese book design, at least for hardcovers, and that is this part. This is called the Wraparound band, apparently, according to the internet. Most Japanese hardcovers, at least today, come with these wraparound bands, and you can just take them off if you don't like them, but I think these are really interesting because a lot of them contain information that you otherwise wouldn't see on the actual dust jacket or cover. For example, this one contains author blurbs as well as what kind of prize that it was nominated for, and on the back you get a little synopsis similar to this book, which has author blurbs in the front. This person actually isn't an author, she's an actress, but I think that's another great thing that they have blurbs from people who are not just writers, and this is a great detail that I really like. They have the volume signal in this corner here to emphasize whatever they want you to know about. So these are really great because they allow for a really simple dust jacket design, and it's not really crowded with all this different information and stickers if they had won a prize and things like that. Another really great example of using wraparound bands is this book. So they have all these different keywords that appear quite often in the book and how they relate to the bookshops. So they have cat, coffee, and then if you look over here, you actually see that they have these little symbols that appear throughout the book, and they all indicate something. So the new symbol means that that particular bookshop sells new books, the old one means that they sell used books, and so on and so forth. Another thing that I wanted to point out is the title on the wraparound bands as opposed to the dust jacket. So the title on the wraparound band is relatively on the center of the book, but when you take the wraparound band off, you can see that the title is actually towards the bottom of the dust jacket. Similarly for butter, you can see that as opposed to the wraparound band where the title is relatively on the center, on the dust jacket it is at the very bottom, presumably due to the design of the dust jacket. Both of these examples, the titles on the dust jacket are slightly less conspicuous than those on the wraparound bands, and I think this is a really good way to utilize the wraparound bands in order to not alter the design of the dust jacket. Lastly, I want to talk about the end papers and the actual covers of the books. If you look at I, it's quite apparent that there's a lot going on the dust jacket. However, once you take the dust jacket off, you can see that the actual cover is this really deep navy blue with just the I on the center, and I think it's just a really beautiful contrast. For this book, you can see that on the actual cover they have a few illustrations of bookshops that are introduced in the book, and it's this really warm brownie sort of color, and it's a really nice contrast to all of the photographs that are used in the book. For this book, you'll notice that they use a photograph for the cover. They have houses alongside a river, and you can tell that it's nighttime. And for end paper, they use blue for the beginning of the book and pink for the end. And maybe I'm reading too much into this, but my interpretation is that the end paper in the beginning symbolize nighttime, and the end paper at the end symbolize the end of night, therefore dawn. For the cover of butter, they have a few illustrations of food items. They have butter in the front and roast chicken, I guess, and a slice of cake and some kind of drink in the back. But it's really interesting because in comparison to the dust jacket image, these illustrations are really soft and you can barely see them. So those are just a few things I noticed about the book designs of the books that I bought in Japan. Please let me know what kind of aspects of book design you find fascinating. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I think that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye!